Okay, welcome back everybody. Today we are going to do some more displacement modeling inside Zbrush for our 7. And today we're going to do this pyramid here. I'll show you how to punch a hole through him here and do some cool displacement on him. And then we're also going to do some abstract type of displacement in these weird shapes here. I got a couple different versions. But yeah, we're going to work on more of the spherical one here, and then also the pyramid as well. And so let's go ahead and jump into Zbrush. Alright, so here we are inside Zbrush here. First we need to make our texture to displace. And we need to open up my Greeble Pack, which you can download. The link will be in the description. And it's a 1024 by 1024. Version 2.1. This is the latest version. Just open up the project file. And this isn't an actual plugin. This is just it's just a subtool, several subtools that have nanomesh built into them. And so basically you only need to worry about is the nanomesh panel. But it has like, I think about, let me open up the subtool palette here. It's got 11 subtools. So you got the nanomesh opened up, and you can use N to switch between your subtools. And there are, let's open that back up. As you can see, there's 8 different greebles, and those are your back plates. Only number 8 is active right now. And then you also have the pipes pack and the block party. And I am currently on the bolt pack, and that's why you're not seeing it in there. It won't show the one that it's active on. So let's go to hit N again. We'll go to Greeble 8, and I will solo him. So you can see this is one of the new ones. If you just go into random seed, you can go in and change all the looks of it. It's pretty cool. You know, it's pretty simple to customize it. But actually, I'm going to turn him off, and I want to go to another new one, Greeble 7. Turn him on, and we're going to mess with him today. So we'll find something that we like here. Okay, so let's unsolo, see how he's working with everybody else. So may want to change his Z offset just a little bit, maybe so he's not interacting so much with everything else, but I don't know, I think he'll be alright. Maybe do a little more random seed there. And then we can go to the bolt pack, which I modified a little bit. It's not as chaotic as it used to be. Really not a whole lot of bolts in there anymore. So like I said, it's not as chaotic as it used to be. So just find something that looks alright to us. And let's go to block party real quick. I do have a video demonstrating this whole thing. So I'm not going to go into extreme detail. Let's see. Let's mess with the block party there, which is your closest layer to you. And each one you can switch through the index to get a different version. Or you can unhide it, and you can have all of them in there. But it kind of covers up too much. That's why I call it the block party, because it's blocking everything. So we'll just do hide others, so we just have the one. May bring his Z offset, bring him up just a little bit. Alright. And randomize him a little bit so we can see some of the pipes underneath. Change your distribution. If you go down a little bit, it'll remove some of the block party. You can also adjust the scale, make them a little bit smaller. You know, you can do whatever you want. It's your Greeble Pack to play with now. Alright, so I'm gonna be content with this one, and we're gonna go ahead and do a BPR. We're gonna render out our textures. It has ambient occlusion built into it, so should be a decent texture to use, as well as as a displacement map or a depth map that we're going to use. Alright, it's done. And all you have to do is click Actual to zoom back in, and we will do Document, Export, and alright, there we go. Change him to a TIFF. Always save these out as TIFFs. It just works better, and almost all your programs are going to be able to use a TIFF. Alright, got him saved. Now you can open up your render and go to Render Pass, then Depth, and then same thing, change it to a TIFF, and then save. Okay, now we got our Greeble texture that we can play with. Go ahead and go to Preferences and Initialize, and we're just going to reset Zbrush real quick. And now we can start doing our modeling. So first I'm going to show you that pyramid. And he's not too difficult to do, just to get a basic pyramid. The only thing you might have difficulty is with punching the holes through it and connecting to the other side. And I'll show you how to do that. So I drew a plane 3D onto the canvas. Do T for edit. I'm going to change our material back to basic material. Turn our polyfill on. And let's mess with the initialize options. Drag them all the way down to 2. And then align Y. And that puts him flat on his back. And that's what we want. Now go ahead and make Polymesh 3D. Now he is editable. And we want to get our Zmodeler brush. So B, Z, and then M. Alright, and that's the keyboard shortcut to it. Now go ahead and right click on the polygon. Make sure you're on the polygon, not on an edge or a point. And select Inset. And then in the modifiers, do Border Only. Because what we have to do is split that polygon. Here, let me go back one. I want to be able to split this polygon from corner to corner. If you do a split option, let me show you what happens. It splits it like that, and we don't want that. So Control Z, take it back to Inset, kept it on Border Only, and then now go to an edge and right click, and we want to do Close, Convex Hole, just leave all the default options, and then just click once. Boom. Now it's split perfectly. All we have to do is Control Shift, click on our border, click one more time, it reverses the selection, and now go into your geometry, modify, and go to delete hidden. And now that border is gone. Now we just have our little square. Alright, now we want to get onto a point, right click, and do transpose. So click on that center point. There you go. Now it goes straight to a move command. Now just hold that center one, click and hold, and then hit your shift. And it'll align him to axis. There we go. You can go ahead just control and drag outside your model to clear the mask. Go back to draw. Now we got our basic pyramid shape. Can't see the back side of it, so what you have to do is go to Display Properties and click Double. There we go. Now we can see both sides. Now let's go ahead and set up radial symmetry. Go into Transform, activate symmetry, or you can hit your X button. And we want it to be radial. Change it to Y, turn off X, and then a 4. Okay. So this way we're affecting all 4 sides. Right click on the poly, and you want to do a split. Now this is pretty cool to see here. It's not going to split the way you think it's going to split. Watch. Boom. Click on that center one again. Boom. That's kind of cool. I like that. So now we found our points of where we want to split into, or to punch our hole through. So let's go ahead and right click and do another inset, change it back to center and border, and then click on your center triangle there. And you don't have to go in very, very far. And what you want to do is, we want to do a transpose. Before we do that, I want to set up, let me go to Transform Palette. There we go. Don't want rotate, hold on. There we go. Open up your modifiers, turn off XYZ, and we want to be on X and Z. Now, activating these two here, everything is going to push either straight in or off to the left and right and front and back. It's only going to work on the X and Z axis, so nothing's going to go up and down. So if you ever want to get precise control, you can do that. So now we transpose the poly. It masks it out for us. And there we go. And see, if I've got the controls up here as well, so if I click on XYZ, it's actually gonna, let me click on him again. Let's see. I want to show you. See how now it aligns to the normal? And it gets to be very difficult to unalign it from the normal. So, let me clear that mask and turn that back off. So now it's just X and Z again. Okay, see. So now it's going the direction we want it to. So we can look from underneath here. Grab that center one. Oops. It's not masking everything for me. Let's turn that off. Let's tap him again so he'll mask everything. Perfect. So now you can click and hold that shift, and everything will align perfectly with the X and Z axis and not push up and down. And that's exactly what we want. Now, I have tried this with some success with the bridge function, but it comes up with mixed results. So that's why I'm kind of doing it this way. So now we got these inner polygons here that we just want to go ahead and delete. Let me find my delete here. There it is. So go ahead. We still got symmetry on. Deletes all of them. Quick and easy. Now let's go in and find our corners. And right click it. You want to do stitch to midpoint. So click him and then click him. There we go. We got them all set up there. And hit X to turn off your symmetry. Let's go ahead and get our XYZ back in play here, just so nothing gets crazy on us here. So click, click. Alright, now do the same thing with these. This one here. Boom. Now everybody's all stitched together. And all you have to do is go to this edge. And it's still set up to close convex hole. All you got to do is click it. Boom. Close the hole for you. And let me scale out. And we can close this hole here. Same thing. There we go. Now it's one solid mesh. Everything's welded together, nice and perfect. And it's punched right through. And let's go ahead, let me turn symmetry back on real quick. And let's go ahead and do one more split. Okay. And let's do one up here. Okay. These triangles are really fun with displacements. They're going to make some interesting effects for us. So I just want to add a couple triangles in here. So let's move on to our next one. I'll make a subtool here. Append polymesh. Okay. And solo him out so we can see what we're doing. Frame him. And let's go down to initialize. And let's see what a 12 by 12 by 12 Q-sphere looks like. He might not be bad. So let's go ahead, go into your polygroups and just do group visible. We don't need all those stray groups right there. Now, what we want to do is get on an edge, right click, and you want to do spin. And we're just going to go in here and just spin up some edges. And you'll kind of see why I do this here in just a minute. If you hold Alt, it'll spin it the other direction. And we'll just randomly go around. There's no specific part that you have to go do here. This is just, we're trying to get something abstract, is all we're doing here. Basically what we're trying to do is change the edge flow of everything here. So I also want to do, we want to do a split on some of these. So just do a split, just go around, randomly do splits. Same thing, you don't have to, nothing specific, nowhere specific you have to do this. Just trying to make some interesting geometry. Of course, right now it kind of looks like a mess, but that's alright. It's abstract. It can be a mess, but it could be art too. Okay. Now, what we want to do is, let me scale out just a little bit here. Go to your standard brush, hold down Shift, and then start smoothing everything out. And see, now it's starting to twist and turn that geometry, or it's starting to twist the edges together. So it's going to make some interesting edge flow here. And yes, I know it's shrinking the model, but we can fix that. That's not a big deal. And you can actually go to deformation, and you can probably do polish by groups. Now, that just shrinks everything. Maybe just polish, maybe a relax. Yeah, we'll do relax a couple times. That'll help some of the edge flow. Alright, so let's go ahead and let me turn solo on so I can see how big of a difference we got here. Yeah, quite a bit. Just want to get him back up to the right size here. Alright. Let's see, what we want to do now is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to group visible one more time. And do a Control Shift and Alt. Kind of cut off some of these caps. Okay, and then we're delete hidden again. And now go into back to your Zmodeler, right click, and do polygroup, do by poly loop, and then just go in here and create some loops in here. Just randomly. Doesn't have to be perfect. If you click and do it on one of these here, it does the whole circle on where we split it. So let's do this one, and we'll do that. Okay. Just like I said, we're making some abstract stuff here. I want to make sure we get all these splits in here because they make it very interesting. There we go. Alright, we'll put one more over here. Okay. Now go ahead, Control Shift, click on that one there, and now go ahead, delete hidden again, and double that so we can see the other side. Alright, now we got our abstract piece here, and we can do right click, do a quick Q mesh, and make sure it's all polygons. and then drag him out. There we go. And solo him, unsolo it. And I think if we unify him, and then go up and unify him, it'll kind of balance out their sizes there. Alright, now we got our basic shapes there, and we are ready to start displacing. But real quick, I'm going to save this out, and I'm going to jump into the 64-bit version. I had to use the 32-bit because I haven't updated yet, and the spin edge crashes my 64-bit. So I'm going to go ahead and save him out real fast, and then I'm going to jump into the 64-bit. So give me just a sec. Okay, we are back. We are using 64-bit Zbrush 4R7 now. Just wanted to get into here so I had some more RAM to play with, especially messing with the displacements. And let's go ahead and load up. I'm going to load them up in the texture panel instead, just so I have easy access to them, so I'm not looking for them all the time. Let's make sure I'm in the right one here. Yep, that's the one we made earlier. Load him into the texture panel, and then go into your alpha and load up the depth pass. Okay, so we can turn him off, and let's go to our UV map. I'm going to solo this, so we just work on one here, and then I'll work on the other one. Set him up 40 by 4096, and go down to PUV, and let's apply our texture map. There it is right there. Alright, looking a little wonky at the moment. That's fine. Always make sure anti-aliased is on. I'm going to go ahead and turn off symmetry. We don't need that on anymore. And let's, under UV map, go back there. Let's start put some tiling in here. I'm going to do a 3 by 3. Get some interesting effects. But to really add a lot to this, go under, let me show you where this is. I believe modified topology in geometry palette, and go down to, here's your mirror and weld. Alright, click on, have the X turned on, and then turn on Z, and mirror and weld. There we go. See, now we're starting to get some symmetry. Really adds a lot to, and you can see up here, you get a lot of triangles going on up here because we put those triangles in there. Okay, so I'm pretty content with that. You can modify your UVs a little bit more. And one note, always make sure your H and V repeat are solid numbers. Don't put decimal points in there, because it just will not displace correctly. And it will not, and I'll show you the export trick here in a minute. A lot of you already know it. But it will not hold anything with 3.21 or so on and so forth. It has to be a solid 3, solid 4, whatever. So just keep that in the back of your mind there. So let's go to adjust. You can, at this point, because there's no subdivisions, you can even do a switch U and V, and it'll give you a totally different result. And all it's doing is just flipping things around. Or you can just hit a flip U, or you can flip V, you know, or switch UV again, or you can go in back to the create. You can bump up one of the tiles and get some different results. Now, the more you tile it, the more geometry you're going to have to put into the displacement, because there's more detail there. So definitely be careful with that. It may look cool, but you may have to get, 20 million active points just for it to displace correctly. So I'm going to keep them down 3 and 3. Usually works well for me. And let me find something I like, and then we'll start displacing. Okay, we're just going to go with that. And let's open up our displacement map and just click on your depth. Hit mode. It's a little wonky right now. Such a low poly count. It's only 72 active points, so yeah, it's kind of low right now. And we'll do a 0.05 to start. and go into Geometry, turn off SMT, turn on SUV, and that's just smooth modifier when it subdivides, and we're actually turning it off so you can keep that nice chiseled edges. And then the SUV is just smoothing out the UVs as it's being divided. So let's go ahead and divide up. And as you can see, the more divisions we put into it, the better it gets, the more chiseled pyramid shape comes back into play. Now if you had left that smooth on, you would get more of a smooth curves and stuff like that, and you know, it just depends on the look you're looking for. If you want a nice curvy object, well, keep that smooth on. But for this case, we want to actually keep it off. Alright, so we got him up to a decent resolution to where we can see how it's working. And the displacement is pretty low, so we can go ahead and bump him up. Let's just try a 0.1. Alright, not looking too bad there. You can modify it by changing this mid-level. If you drag it down, it pushes everything out more. If you go above 0.5, it'll suck everything in. The only thing you got to watch out for is like right around this punch out here. Some things will get in there and start overlapping. As you can see right there, everything starts to overlap. But, you know, it doesn't necessarily mean it's a bad deal. It all depends on the look you're looking for. So I'm going to zoom out there, and for the sake of the tutorial, I'm just going to maybe bump him up to 0.15. Okay, and alright, so what we have to do before we ever displace, we want to lower a subdivision, export, and I'll just call him export. And then re-import him back in. Alright, now you can go back to your UV map under the Create tab, and you can lower your H and V repeat. Because now it held onto that tiling, so we can just actually lower that down to where it can actually displace correctly. So bump your subdivision back up, and everything is perfect. So now we can displace correctly. So let's see. We need to, right now we're under 100,000 active points, so we're going to have to divide a couple times here. Alright, I think the next one will push us over 1.5 million points, and we want probably one more subdivision. That's going to bring us up to 6.16. Alright, not too bad at all. We're just going to go with that and go ahead and let's go ahead and just, I'm going to store a morph target real quick and click apply. Give it a few seconds to percolate. And there we go. We are ready to go. Make sure under your transform, click on quick 3D edit, because when you're messing with displacements, it turns it off. And so, yeah, you can't do anything to your model when that quick 3D edit is off. But you turn it back on, your performance jumps right back up, and you're good to go. Now, you do have some of this wonky polygons going on here. You can actually go to your morph brush, and since we saved a morph target, we can use the morph brush now. And I think I turned symmetry back on, yes. And if you do mask by polygroups, which is actually under brush, and let me find him, auto masking, and you can adjust mask by polygroups on. And it's just using the polygroups that we originally generated to help kind of isolate things. And we want to right click him real quick, change his focal shift down, or up in this case, and then change the Z intensity to about 5, because we don't want it to do too crazy of things. We just want real subtle changes going on. And you can push and pull things back to where you like them, or not, or you could just leave them. either way. It's just whatever's pleasing to you, pleasing to the eye. And the only other thing I really want to do, I'm not going to get crazy cleaning this up because we still got one more model to displace, is go under, let's see, B, C, and clip curve. That's what we're looking for here. Turn your symmetry back off by hitting X. And I just want to flatten. Oops. Do that again. I just want to flatten our base. Okay, give it a second to work there. Alrighty. And we're not quite flattened enough yet. You can do it this way, or you can do it other ways. It's entirely up to you. I'm just going to do it this way. It's quick and easy. The only reason I'm flattening the bottom is we're never going to see it. So there ain't no sense in having all this extra topology on the base here, because we're going to decimate this here pretty soon. So I want it, yeah, I just want it all gone. I want to save all the decimation for up here and not down below where you're never going to see it. Alright, that pretty much killed most of that down there. There's still a little bit there. A little wonkiness over here. We can actually do a shift, and you can smooth that if you wanted. Smooth him out a little bit. Turn Control Z. Turn X back on, so we're doing all sides here. Yeah, I'm not gonna go crazy cleaning everybody up here. Alright, so X, turn that off. Let's go to our other model. Should be able to hit down, okay. And that'll take us to our other subtool, or you can always do, oh, that's weird, okay. Alright, so now we got him here. Let us start setting up his UVs. 4096. Let's try GUV tiles this time, and let's see how this looks. Texture map. Load him up. We'll just load up the same texture. Yeah, no. Let's go ahead and just do a PUV. I think that always looks a little bit better. Pretty cool. Alright, let's do 2 and a 2 on the repeats. That's pretty cool in there. Nice thing about how we created this one, it kind of follows the edge flow, which is kind of neat. Get some very interesting results. Make some very cool abstract / organic type stuff. Alright, so we'll just bump him up to 3, 3, and call it good. I'm not going to get crazy messing with this one. So we want to add our displacement and see how this is going to look. Turn on mode and shrink it down crazy. And let's try a 0.05 at first, see? Yeah, we could probably do a 0.2. Yeah, that's going to be crazy, but... And let's go ahead and keep the smooth modifier on this one on, and then smooth UV, and we're going to divide up. And see what we come up with here. Okay, so we're at 250,000 right now, active points. And give us a good sense of where we're going here. Under your displacement, let's go ahead and bring him down. So we're pushing our geometry back out. I may drop him to 0.1 instead. There we go. That looks a little bit cleaner. Alright, cool. Alright, so now we just got to do our little trick again. Drop your subdivisions down. Export. I'll just reuse him and then import and change your repeats down to 1. Alright. And bring your subdivision up. Cool. I like it. So let's divide and see where we go. We'll probably end up over 1,000,000. With that one, we're just under 1,000,000. And now we are up to about 3.825 points right now. And I think we should displace halfway decently. You can usually zoom in and tell if it's not going to displace that well. It's going to be a little chattery here, but I think I'll be okay with that. So let's go ahead, Displacement Map, and click Apply. I'm not even going to worry about Morph Target this time. There we go. Pretty cool. And make sure you turn your quick 3D edit back on so it's a little more manageable. Alright. Crazy, organic-like. Make some really cool shapes there. Alright, cool. So let's turn Solo off. Oh, I've been working on him upside down. Okay, there we go. And what you want to do now, if you want to take it into other applications, you can go ahead and, well, we are going to go ahead. We're going to do Decimation Master. And we're going to do Keep UVs. And go ahead and pre-process all. And I will be back in just a minute. Oh, hold on. Can I rename subtools? Oh, no. Okay, sorry. Alright, there's a good note to self there. Make sure that they're not both they're not both named the same thing. So, I'm glad it did that so I can show you that. Pyramid. And rename. Abstract. Okay. Now, go ahead and pre-process all and let it do its thing. And I will be back in just a few minutes and we'll continue on. Okay, I'm back. It took a little longer than I thought. It actually didn't process all of them, so I had to go back and process the abstract one by itself. But they're both pre-processed. And let me solo the pyramid out. And all you gotta do is type in the amount that you want. With these straight edge, the ones that haven't been smoothed out so much, I always say you could do 250,000 easily, and it would come out just fine. So with Decimate Current, and you can see there was hardly any changes, because that UV map held in real nice, so it's holding on to our texture. So you hit Polyfill here, and you can see we're full of triangles and all that. But these nice flat surfaces only have a handful of triangles in them now. So this model will easily export into other applications real well, as long as you're not doing any deformations or anything like that. So turn that off. Let's go to our abstract. Okay, now when you start getting into a lot of curved surfaces, more organic type stuff, you're going to want a higher polygon count. I usually recommend, let's do 200, we'll do a 200,000 so you can kind of see what's going on here. Okay, you can see we've faceted or fauceted, however you want to pronounce it, pretty hard on all our curved surfaces, and this is pretty much all curved surfaces on here. So I would highly recommend do at least 500,000 polygons. So 500K and Decimate Current. Ooh, didn't change it. Weird. What happened there? Let's go up to 1,000,000. That's weird. Worked just fine earlier. There it goes. It cleaned it up nicely. Let me drop him back down to 500, because I know it works. There it goes. Okay. Yeah, this is a 500,000 polygon model. So you zoom in. Obviously, you get real close. Yeah, you can start seeing some faceted edges, but I don't think you're ever going to be that close to it. But if you want it that close, yeah, you're going to want to bump it up to about 1,000,000. So, but it's held on to that texture nicely. And now, if you wanted, you can actually export all this into KeyShot, and I'll show you that real fast. External render, KeyShot, and hit BPR. Give it a second to load up. Okay, here we are back in KeyShot. Everything's transferred over nicely. And because there are two different subtools, it now has two different tools or folders or meshes inside here, so we can take our abstract. Let's go ahead and take the whole model, click position, and snap to ground. Make sure it, yeah, we'll have to tweak that a little bit, make sure it's right on the ground plane there. There we go. Now it's responded. Alright, let's go back to position, move, and we'll just drag him down just a little bit there so the shadows behave correctly. Alright, click on him. Now you can go to your abstract now and do position, move, and you can move him individually. And just try to get that little gizmo to work for you. He's a little cumbersome. He's not like in Zbrush, which they had a camera space type control. Alright, so now we got them both separated there. And turn him off. And let's go play with their, actually, we'll shift click both of these and link material, so you only have to mess with one. Double click on them. Go to your textures real quick. Load up a bump map. And all we have to do is load up our bump map that we did earlier. Yeah, that wasn't it. Hold on. There it is. And bump him up to about 20. Okay, he's not set right. He's using a box map, so go ahead and click on UV coordinates. There we go. So now he's aligned perfectly with everything. Not much of a difference, but if I want, I could take a add geometry here, add a sphere. Alright, puts him in the center of the scene, and the pyramid's still in the center, which works out for us. Go to scene, go down to sphere. We're going to change him up a bit. We can change his scale down to where he is just inside the top of our pyramid. Okay, so now open up that, click on the sphere itself, change his color, we'll bring him to a red. Click OK. Go to the type, go down to area light diffuse, and click off visible to camera, and bump up the wattage. And as you can see, we now have a very cool lit pyramid. And glowing from our bump map. It's pretty cool. So you can, if you actually go under settings, you can do global illumination, and that usually enhances that effect a little bit more. So entirely your choice on how you want to render them out. I think this is a pretty cool little effect that you could do. You could do the same thing with that abstract over there. He's a little hairy to try to get spheres into him, but you can still do it. He's already set up to do it, so all you gotta do is copy that sphere in there and put him over into the abstract. And you can always change your environment. Let's give it try this one. Yeah, we'll try this one. Give you a different look to everything. We can adjust the contrast if we wanted. Kind of makes everything a little brighter. We don't really want that. You can double click on the material. You can actually go to the color tab and then change the contrast on the color tab. It'll make everything a little bit darker. And then you can shift up the brightness just a little bit if you wanted. So now everything in the crevices are a little bit darker. All the darker panels are pushing a little more to black. Pretty cool little effect there. You can even kill the environment and go to a color if you wanted. And we can do kind of a almost black if we wanted. And you could go over to edit, add geometry. You can add a ground plane. But we can now change, it is now, there's an actual model in there that we can manipulate and change its texture. You can actually change that to a liquid. And it comes in red. So change it to a white liquid. There you go. You can go into its texture panel and you can click on bump, go to noise fractal, and now you got water. And you'll have to manipulate it a little bit to kind of get rid of that little black band on the horizon, but you can do a lot of little tweaking here. I think if you just scale him up, maybe? I don't know, is he scalable? He's not really scalable. Yeah, he is. Huh. Not sure where that little black band is coming from. I think it's just the overall size. Do 50. Nope. I think that's just the way it's reflecting. That's weird. But you can certainly play with it. We can drop him down to 0.5, see what happens. Oh, there we go. That kind of got rid of that problem. And there you go. Quick little scene with your new displaced models. You could do a lot of neat things with this method here, and I encourage you to show it off. Let me see what you're doing. Get back with me on Zbrush Central. Get back with me on Facebook, Google+. I'm all over the place, so give me a shout. Show me what you're doing, and biggest thing of all, have fun. All right, guys, and we'll see you next time.